Peace, family. Welcome to another episode of Underground World Radio. I'm your host, Brother Rich. We're back with the brother, the legend, Dick Gregory. How you doing, brother?
I am fantastic and getting better. Thank you. Happy family, and let me just say thanks to you and these type of radio shows. They used to could get by with stuff. They still do it, but they got to spend millions of dollars a month to get by because there's other voices out here.
Well, it's always a pleasure having you on the show, and I always love your optimism and your positivity and the energy you bring to the show, brother.
Thank you.
I could definitely feel the divinity within you. So, I definitely love having you here. But, you let's start off the show. You say they could they still get away with some things, but they have to spend millions. I want to talk to you about some of the recent events. We love your perspective on things. Some things you say nobody says, then once you say it, everybody says it. So I love to hear you talk about things that's going on in the media. I want to start out, Brother Dick Gregory, with the whole Ebola thing. You can't get around it. It's in all the places.
Yeah, but before we do that, let me ask you a question.
Right.
Women go and buy their underwear and lingerie at a place called Victoria's Secret, right?
Right.
Have you ever asked yourself why is it called Secret?
Yeah, I have wondered that from time to time.
Because Queen Victoria was a man.
Wow.
And then once you know that, and then all you got to do is pull up Queen Victoria's picture and look at that ugly thing. So again, I just said that to say that you have to put pieces together and ask questions. Why? Why? And so when you look at the Ebola, we hear, sometime this weekend you have some time, punch up the article in the London Guardian where they talked about when the president and them got rid of General, what was his name, Papai, General, about the woman, the secretary he was with, and all of that, and they was getting ready to overthrow the government. I know that. New York Times don't know that. Come on. And it's a vicious plan. They busted about 40 of them. Now, I can understand America can't say that because the world financial market would pull out. But their plan was they was going to kill Romney a week before the election. You see, it's really nice. Black folks always figures out the stuff wrong. They think it's Obama. They was going to blow him away. And then they had a week. And they would have picked General Petraeus. And we'd all be under martial law now. And so in Europe and in Africa, the Africans are angry, man. They say they know this is a trick. And then they got the pitch got so high they had to have some white folks get it to convince them. If this was a trick, we give it to white folks. And then the question is, well, how come they get it and come back to America and they're cured in 2 weeks, but y'all tell us ain't no cure. If you go back to AIDS, I remember black preachers and white preachers and especially a lot of black preachers were saying that's God gave them that, huh? See, one day when we stopped making a pit bull out of God, the same God, I'm not talking about the church, I'm talking about the universal God that put the river and the moons. Do you know there's more stars in the sky than grains of sand on this planet? Huh? And then they reduce people down to believing that your hair, your thing come from Sears and Roebuck. Or universe, the same God that produced a Hitler produced a Jew. The same God that produced a slave produced a slave master. Huh? And so somewhere, and so people say, well, how come you all think that way? Well, let me just ask you a question as I proceed to answer the question that you just asked me. If you were head of a major police department and you was the lead cop in homicide, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a rash of murders happen. So the first thing you do is put your team out to look and see if there are a pattern in the last 40, 50 years, right?
Right.
A pattern. And then you say, well, yep, here's some patterns here. Well, where are they? Well, some of them's in jail, well, and some's out. Well, let's look at the ones that's out and find out where they are, and just kind of send our folks in there to hang around and talk with them. Well, it's the same thing with a white racist system. When you see something like that, say, wait a minute, America has a record of that, huh? Tuskegee? The only thing they left out of the Tuskegee thing, as far as I'm concerned, is they got the black folks in the nurses department of Tuskegee to do it. And then when Clinton decided he was going to apologize to the black men that was left, I got an invitation, but I didn't go. I said, what about the women? Huh? If you're going to inject syphilis into me, what about the woman I'm with, the girlfriend, the wife? Huh? She suffers more than anybody. And so that's what they're talking about now around the world. And people here, but people scared to mention America because they want to say, oh, how could you say that? I'm looking at your past record. Huh? I'm looking at your past record. If me and you are good friends and I'm known to get sloppy drunk and drive, and somebody tell you, Dick Gregory just had an accident, the first thing you think, I was drunk.
Right, right.
So that's the normal, universal rhythm. And so when you looked at AIDS, only 2 cities in the whole world had it. San Francisco, white folks, only was getting it. And New York City, Manhattan, white folks. And everybody was saying, yeah, that's God punishing y'all. Well, wait. If this is a white thing, how come the A's ain't getting it in Gooseneck, Tennessee, huh? What about the gays in Miami, huh? How come they not getting it? And then after that, then Africa. And they said, oh, it came from a green monkey. Oh, man, how can I trust you? I can't trust you for nothing. Don't tell me about no monkey. Or did you say your mama? And so that's what, and scared, frightened. I never thought I'd see today something that they could blame on Africa would scare white folks. And all you got to let me show you the power. If you all that's listening to this show right now, every day at 12 noon, you can do it any time, but unity, 12 noon, your time, just meditate for a few minutes. Don't get into no ripping and roaming and God, So you serious? You think the universal God that put the whole universe together don't know your notes do? Why are you wasting all that time trying to explain to God your notes do? Just say, fix it, Pop, or Mom, and so all you do, and then you can prove your power. Just start meditating tonight, and then from then on, 12 noon, every day, whatever time zone you're in, just meditate that the truth will come out. Now, here's what's good about that. Oh, Dick Gregory, he just lied. Well, I just told you to pray to God that the truth will come out. I didn't say pray to God that America gets caught. I say pray that the truth comes out. That's all. And you'd be surprised what will happen. I mean, can we be that stupid to believe with the trillions of dollars of hardware we got up in the sky, circling this planet every second, that we didn't see them punks over there putting their stuff together? That's because that's a CIA operation. And we so stupid and dumb because you can't have a racist, insane nation like this, and they think with filth. And so consequently, they say, where all them tanks come from? Oh, those American tanks, but they took them from the people in Iraq who we've given them to. Oh, please.
You're talking about ISIS?
Yes.
Okay.
That's our operation. and the Muslims. I mean, I was in Iran during the hostage crisis. I went over and fasted for 90 days because I knew the girl that was running it was CIA. There was a whole CIA operation. And I was just fasting and praying that they didn't kill them. Mm-hmm. You know, they beheading folks now. And the whole world. Every time you turn on TV, you see them cats practicing in the desert, outside. Every time you turn on TV, they practicing. Come on, y'all. How come y'all didn't see this before now? And so that's what we're looking at. And now they said, well, the white folks that we cured with it when they came over here, there's no more left. How many people even using it on that we didn't know about? And so that's what that's about. And then everybody you talk to them, and they say, well, you know this brother that's in the hospital in Dallas with Obama. I asked you a question, huh?
Right. Yeah. A gentleman that's in Dallas, you're saying.
Yeah. Well, how come they haven't told us where he worked? How come we don't know what kind of job he had that he can get him a ticket? Who is he? And so that's what it's about. And just like the Attorney General. Did he just up jump and quit? No, man. He got fired. This thing's bigger than him.
And you're talking about Eric Holder. Do you know exactly what happened with that?
Sure, I know. It's that Fast and Furious, huh? Remember that whole gun thing?
Yeah.
Huh? Well, see, they do stuff in the White House when you try not to be who you are. I'm the president of not just Negroes. I'm the president of... Come on, man. You know how long I lived in Chicago? In Mad Daily, Irish Catholic, and 90% of everybody controlled was Irish Catholic. Italians was in control in Philly and New York. Are you serious? But when it comes my turn, then I change the rules on me, huh? And so so consequently, what we looking at, but America's not gonna get by with it. We in the same state the Romans was in right before they fell. The reason China, with all their power, and China just bought the big hotel in New York City yesterday. Did you see that? I can't think of the name of it now, but it's the Waldorf.
Oh, okay. The Waldorf. Wow.
Waldorf, $2.9 billion.
Wow.
And so the whole thing is changing now. We begging companies to help us fight a war because we can't afford to do it by ourselves. And then we taught Americans, Malachi, they messed up that thing. And no, they didn't. All they said that if you're going to leave troops here, we want the right to prosecute them if they murder or rape our people. They said, no, that's the white supremacy. No, we'll bring them to American prosecute. Oh, yeah, okay, all right. That's what this is about. But they're not going to mention that. They're not going to mention that at all.
So do you see China as being the next world power?
Well, first we have to understand how many dynasties China had, and the only reason they lost their world domination is somebody convinced the Chinese that a woman looks more sexy if she got little bitty feet, so they start bounding their feet from birth. And the pain that them women had to go through. Pain. And after they lost all their power, someone was wise enough to say, you think maybe if we start untying their feet, we'll get our power back. And when the Japanese invaded the Chinese in 1933, 1933. They gave them orders when you get to China. The old Chinese men in the military, don't worry about killing them. Every young boy you see in China, a young person with a tattoo on, blow their brains out. Why? Tattoo represents revolution. So y'all listen, go down the street tomorrow and look, and you see what happens. And those folks is not in control of that. Before you saw the tattoos, you saw the graffiti. Remember that, brother?
Right, right.
Now, let me show you something. You be driving down the highway and see graffiti on the bridge, and nobody saying, how'd they get up there and do that? Got the police in them. And go all over the world, and all graffiti look alike. I don't care what language. And then one day the graffiti left, and it started showing up on our bodies. PhDs, people with money, tattoos, putting pins through their tongue, man. You know how you ever bit your tongue, you know how sensitive that is. I know it's a whole new ball game now, and it's just about to happen. You know, in Colombia 300 years ago, America sent a bunch of scientists to go and study hieroglyphics. We didn't understand it, but 300 years ago, they went over there and went in the caves and copied it, wrote it down. So it was 150 years before they had cracked the code, hieroglyphics. So 150 years ago, they cracked it. And here's what it said: white man, one day the white lady going to do to your children what you do in the hours. And 300 years ago, cocaine wasn't called the white lady. And the number one drugged out country in America today as we talk is not Chicago or Harlem. It's the state of Vermont.
Vermont.
All you got to do is pull it up on your computer. State of Vermont. I interviewed a white girl there and asked how bad it is in the white community. She said every 10 of my friends, 9 of them's either dead or in rehab.
Wow.
And then you all can pull this up on the computer. The Justice Department released these stats 3 months ago, and they was talking about white folks. More Americans die from drug overdose, from heroin, than all the automobile accidents and all the homicides, okay? That's what this thing is, man. You can't stop it, And the lease, I give you a $10 million Rolls Royce, and somebody slip in the garage and take the spark plug out, which costs $30, your whole car is shut down.
Right. Yeah.
The whole system is shut down. And so this is where it is. But you know what made these little countries want to take us on, don't you?
What?
When they looked at the movement, the civil rights movement, you say, my God, they took on the mightiest nation in the world. They didn't use no guns. That's what them Chinese children are doing over there now. That's what happened in Egypt. Except America promoted Egypt. Let us get in the front of it so we can control this. And so that's where we headed, and that's where it's going.
I want to talk a little bit about this whole Secret Service security debacle, where a gentleman made it past all these Secret Service guys with, I guess he was armed with a knife or something, and he got extremely close in the White House. Where
wait, did I hear you say he was Secret Service? That's why he got past him.
No, you didn't.
The black woman that left Connecticut with the baby in the car.
Right.
Now, let me just say something like this here. Women understand what I'm fixing to say. No woman will leave Connecticut and drive to Washington, D.C. with a 1-year-old baby in the car to crash the president's fence, okay? She never did that. You never saw them take her out the car, and the cameras was filming that for 2 hours. You never saw no ambulance show up. And I know some folks that looked at the autopsy. She was shot 27 times, 15 times in the head, okay? Okay? Then here's a white boy, they tell us he's crazy, jumps over the fence. Now, let me just say this, brother. If we had an assignment as some commandos to jump over the White House, you know how long we would train so we could get physically fit and able to do that?
Yeah, long time.
And the snipers on the roof didn't shoot him. They didn't let the dogs go, huh? They said, well, we didn't want to shoot him and let the dog go. We thought he was crazy. That's who you shoot, crazy people. And then he gets to the White House, and the door is open. And the alarm is not on the door. But you know what bothered me more than what them thugs, that's a CIA Secret Service operator. You know what bothers me more than that?
What?
Was Obama. And I've never been one to bash Obama. You know, because I followed him 4 years. You look up my shit 4 years before anybody heard. I said, that's your next president. And so I know where it was going. But he had just left out the house with his 2 children. He didn't come back. Can he really be stupid enough to believe that Camp David is safer than the White House? You can slip in heaven before you can slip in the White House. And then all he said is, I have faith in my... Oh, I bet you do. Huh? When he went to Colombia and them prostitutes, you read that, right?
Right.
The prostitutes didn't bother me. You know what bothered me? Idiots who never went to school know one of the most dangerous cities in the world is Colombia with the drug lords, right? All the places the president, if he's as bright as he's supposed to be, could go. Who sent him there? Who sent him there? And the only reason those 11 guys they busted, they brought his car in that day. They supposed to watch it all night long. They're out getting drunk, you know. And something got to be wrong, because I ain't know no 11 men, all of them want sex at the same time.
Right.
And then what they told us didn't make sense. One prostitute they didn't pay. One of the guys didn't pay her $28. And all at once we looking at a worldwide incident over $28. And somewhere, and they're not trying to kill him. They kill him if they want to. Are you serious?
So what do you think? Go ahead.
Huh?
No, I was going to say, so what do you think? Was this to scare him?
No, he already scared. I mean, if he didn't get scared when he was in South Africa at Mandela's funeral, and they got a black guy there translating sign language, and out of the 180 countries, the most powerful countries in the world was there, and not one of them leaders was sitting next to him. Go look at the film. And everybody come over there, bring their own security. So I can see America shutting it down because they don't want, but I can't see Britain, France, Japan, them not letting them. And the thing was so tight, they didn't even let what's his name, Bishop Tutu in the funeral. But this punk could get in, and we ain't heard no more of it. I mean, it got to be when that family, husband and wife, crashed the White House state dinner. Listen, do you know if me and you tomorrow, I come where you are, and we jump over the counter at the post office, you know that's a federal crime?
Right. Yeah.
Well, how come it wasn't a federal crime for them to do what they did? And nobody detected them. The only reason the world found out, they went home and put text it. Hey, let me tell you what we just did tonight, huh? That's what this is about. That's what this is about. So they can take him out anytime they want to. They could take him out tonight, man. And said he was just so nervous, and and this and that. They say he started drinking or he's on drugs. If we have to take the New York Times word for it, huh? And wait a minute, all that stuff that's going on, we didn't know it was going on until the Washington Post.
They reported it, right.
Who ain't nothing but gangsters and thugs. Huh? Let me tell you something that you need to do for me after you finish the show or tomorrow. Senator John McCain?
Yes.
He was sentenced by a military court to be shot to death by a firing squad. Because when they captured him in Vietnam, he snitched on everybody. And after he started talking, the naval flyers' death rate increased from 0 to 67% every day. Because he told them what route. And he did a tape that they broadcast. And, my name is John McCain. I'm such and such. I'm a war criminal. I drop bombs on schools, which means I kill women and children. CBS, ABC. You know how many people just hearing this the first time from me? Not the New York Times, the Washington Post, the St. Louis Post is bad. You hear me?
Yeah.
It's a game. That's how tight they play it, man. And so somewhere, when we stop and look, a friend of mine in Russia told me, say, I'm coming to Seattle, Washington to visit my brother. If you're free, I'd like for you to meet me there. Well, I know what that meant. So I go, and he said, the O.J. Simpson fiasco, he said, our satellite circles your country every minute of the day, and yours circle ours. We say our satellite just happened to have been passing over Southern California when the O.J. Simpson's murders happened. And the reason I'm coming to you, because I know you know what happened and what didn't happen. I said, yeah. And I said, so what happened? He said, we sent it to the State Department. We haven't heard from them yet. I said, when you go back, ask them if it's for sale, and I can buy it. I haven't heard back from them no more. I'm the one released the picture with Ron Brown with the bullet in the back of his head. It never was a plane wreck. Ron Brown was Secretary of Treasury, and he was coming back to go before grand jury about the money he brought, him and his son brought back from China to give to Clinton. And he was stupid enough to tell Clinton, if you think me and my boy going to jail for that money, we put you out your mind. So it made like they took that whole plane down, killed everybody on it just to get him. It's America. People say, man, all the stuff you know, don't you worry about them killing you? Oh, wait, oh. The God I pray to didn't make no junk. I grew up in a Negro neighborhood, and I used to hear black people, oh, she got good hair, she got bad hair, and I'd walk out the room. I didn't want to hear my mama and them talking about that, because my mama is the woman that got her extra job 2 weeks after New Year's for the whole year to get money to bring toys and gifts to her 6 children. And after she did it, she was stupid enough or ungodly enough to tell me that a white man named Santa Claus brought it. That's my mama. Now, I can't speak for y'all's mama. That's my mother. That's what I was raised by. Okay? My mama didn't know that King James was King of England. She didn't know that King James, she just thought God sent King James here to put the Bible together. She didn't know King James was such a weird, strange homosexual. He hated women so bad he killed his mama. His lover was Lord Buckingham, who Buckingham was named after. Buckingham Palace. And so this is something that just started, and I've just been going on for years. And if we listen to real white folks, see, white ain't a color, it's an attitude. And if you're stupid enough to believe in ignorant redneck crackers like the Ku Klux Klan, most of them couldn't read. None of them been to schools they did. They went to a bad school. If you can believe they can determine public policy, then you might as well get in that barrel with them. If you believe the Tea Party, white, powerful businessmen in America, Republicans, are the most powerful businessmen in the whole world, and you tell me it's dirty and it's ungodly as they are, they're going to let some snots like the Tea Party shut this government down if they didn't want to do it? That's a game. Defense contract, that's where they get them. Every congressional district get part of the defense money. Something in your district that creates jobs comes out the defense budget. Then the next question is, out of the defense contracts across the country, the top 20, you have to be $30 to $40 billion to be in the top 20. Out of the top 20, the top 10 is Democratic district. And out of the top 10, the top 2 is in Negro districts. Clay, St. Louis, he's number 1. What's his district? Lockheed Martin. Number 2, the ex-Black Panther brother from Chicago, is in his district. He's number 2. What's in his district? Bow and aircraft. That's how it's run, mother. And all of them are thieves and lies. Give me the right to vote. Give me the right to elect without giving me the right to select, and you got a fool going to the vote. That's what it's about.
I want to talk a little bit about, I know you talk a lot about health, Big Gregory. And, you know, we live in this internet age where, like we say, there's so much information around, and people are starting to see how the food has been harming us more than our grandmother saw, or more than our parents saw, and so on and so forth. So, what advice would you have to the people when they really see what's behind the food industry and the health industry and the GMOs and how this food is killing our people? What advice would you give to the general public as far as eating and consuming certain food?
I wouldn't give them none, because they're not aware how vicious it is. You know, some of the things I said tonight, if my mother was alive, she'd call the police on me. If you and I was in Europe tonight, right?
Right.
And I was selling crack and you were selling Vaseline petroleum jelly and we got arrested, you know, you get 3 times more time than me. Did you know that?
Oh, in Europe? Yeah. Wow. Okay.
What did I say you were selling? Vaseline what?
Petroleum jelly.
Yeah. Vaseline petroleum. Ain't that gasoline?
Yeah.
Then we put it on our babies. I'm not talking about black folk. We put it on our babies. We put it all over our body, on our lips. Are you crazy? Did you see 2 weeks ago, Pepsi-Cola and Coca-Cola came out? They're fixing to run ads telling children don't drink too much of this soda pop. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that, no.
Ain't that sound strange, don't it?
Yeah.
No, they know the government is fixing to put a tax on every bottle sold because young folks drink enough soda pop in America today that it costs this government $100 billion a year just dealing with the side effects. Okay? One soda pop make your bloodstream 10,000 times more acid than the universal God meant for it to be. The body needs proteins. How are you a vegetarian? The body needs proteins. I said, well, there's a lot of proteins in a steak, but cows don't eat steak. milk, nobody on the planet but a human would give cow's milk to a baby that the universal God put together. Cow's milk. The most important ingredients in milk is casein, not calcium. You could eat newspaper and get more calcium than you would out of cow's milk. Casein builds a bone structure to carry the body's weight. Cow's milk has 300 times more casein in it than mother's milk, because cow's milk got to build a bone structure to carry a ton plus. Mother's milk has to build a bone structure to carry a maximum of 175 pounds. Well, what do they do with casein? Oh, they make paint, glue. What? Yeah. The number one milk company in the world is in Ohio, called Borden's. Borden's Milk. Elsie the cow, right? Ain't her picture on Elmer's glue?
Right.
So how do I sit on this show? Do you know the number one vegetarian, the number one cancer group in America is vegetarians? Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. No.
Because they're not supposed to eat soy.
Okay,
Soybean.
Sorry, right.
And punch it up, you see it. It creates cancer. It changes male hormones into female hormones into male hormones. And all these people talking about, God didn't make no homosexuals. Oh, homosexuals been here. Mm-hmm. But the reason we have so many in America is the whole vegetarian thing, not knowing that they're not supposed to eat soy. George Washington Carver invented soybean for the military. He said, can you give us something we can get paint, ink, glue, and plastic? And he came up with soy. George Washington Carver. So, if you don't drink enough water, here's the three things we die from. Brain, we don't get enough rest. Die from sleep deprivation. Number 2, dehydration. And number 3, lack of physical fitness. All of it is free, produced by the universal God. But we don't have time. We don't have time. Sports is a violation of God. Do you have any children, brother?
No, not yet.
Well, let's say you have 5 children, okay? You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, at what point would you let the United States government start getting them mentally and physically ready for war, from the time they're 1 year old to the time they're 18? What time would you let the government do that?
Oh, I wouldn't want the government to get them ready for war now.
Yeah, I just said that.
But what they start letting people join the army at what?
I didn't say that. Just answer my question, please. I said, at what point would you let them get your children ready for war? From the time they're 1 year old to the time they're 18. What time would you let them?
Let me see. Let's say 17.
Huh? Okay. That's what sports is about. That's what the Olympics was about. Getting them ready for war, because I know mom and dad ain't stupid enough to let me take them as little tots, huh? That's what that whole thing is about. If you was German and I was Russian, we went to war, we have different uniforms on. Well, same thing happened with the Cardinals in Philadelphia. They got different uniforms on. War games. How do you turn it around? How do you turn it around? Well, you have to know it first. You have to know it first. And so, the whole game. The whole game. And so I would start off by saying, those of you all that's listening to me that have children, you know, when a child is born and you take them to a doctor, they measure them. If they weigh 10 pounds, they tell them give them 20 ounces of water. That's universal law. Whatever you weigh in pounds, you're supposed to drink half that in water. You weigh 400 pounds, 200 pounds, 200 ounces of water. 100 pounds, 50 ounces of water. Universal law. Universal law. And then once that happens, things start talking to you. You start hearing the real voice. Men control everything on this planet. Men. But it's called the mother tongue. The mother tongue. You heard that, right?
Yeah.
You ever heard the man tongue?
Never.
That's because when you lay in your mother's belly, you all are communicating. Did you see the movie Lucy?
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
Okay, go back and see it again. We only use 2% of our brain, right? Except when you're laying in your mother's bosom, you're losing 100% of your brain. You the one. If you was an engineer, you made up the blueprints to build this 100-story building. You give the blueprints to me, and I see to it get cat. That's what happens when you land in your mother's bosom. Your DNA turns over to you and you 100%, and you make the fingernails and the color of the hair. That's in the code. That's what you do. And then when you born, you saw the movie, right?
Yeah.
You know Lucy was a black woman. You know that?
Right, yeah.
And they didn't have no black women in the movie. You know that?
Not one, no.
You know why?
Why?
If you looked inside of my head today, in my brain, and looked inside of a white person's head today, you'd see the same color, wouldn't you?
Right.
Okay? And then when she learned how to develop and when she went up to 50% of her brain, remember?
Yeah.
And you remember they had drugs they was putting in their bellies?
Yeah.
The Chinese, right?
Yeah.
Now ask yourself a question. Under what circumstances are the Chinese doing in this movement? Whenever they're going to do something evil, they always get somebody they don't like. You heard of the German measles, right?
Yeah.
Go to Germany, they ain't never had it. And so this is the trickery that goes on. And so consequently, when you look at how it's done, and so that mother tongue, so we black folk want to believe the more our children talk like white folks, the better we get a job. Yeah, but you're violating the universe. That's why Chinese place, they talking Chinese, man. Go where Italian tango, they're talking Italian. Germany. The mother tongue. That's why we so messed up. We so busy don't want to sound Negro. Okay, keep playing the game. Keep playing the game.
Wow.
And so water. Drink your water. 9.5 hours of sleep minimum. 90 minutes after the sun go down. You in bed. And physical fitness. Just walking. The gorilla's so physical fit. You ain't never seen no gorilla running through the jungle unless it's a forest fire. And so 20 to 25 years from now, there'll be no more football in America. Why? The new inventions. And they'll come a day that they'll tell you as a father and a mother of a high school son or daughter, yeah, it'd be one of the best football players in the world, but you have to sign this disclaimer. Anything happen, we're not responsible for it. That's where this is going. And so it's about the body. Eating, drinking. You look at the DNA schedule. The universal God didn't make your body with no coffee or Kool-Aid or lemonade. That's simple.
Well, I certainly thank you for joining us once again, Brother Dick Gregory.
Thank you, my brother.
As always, it's been a pleasure. Is there anything else you want to leave the people with before we close out?
No, just remember one thing. That 2 billion years ago, the dinosaur left the planet. What they don't tell you, 2 billion years ago, the butterfly was there, and the turtle was there. 2 billion years ago. And you can't say it came from Jesus or God or the Pope or the Hindus, the Muslims. They wasn't here 2 billion years ago. 2 billion years ago, the dinosaur left. The same universal energy that put the dinosaur here, put you here, put me here, put the turtle here, and put the butterfly here. 2 billion years later, the butterfly is still here. Do you know the butterfly can fly all the way across the Atlantic Ocean and all the way across the Pacific Ocean, but the bald eagle can't make that trip?
I never knew that.
And there's a book out, quickly before I get out, a book out called Chaos. And you talk about the butterfly syndrome. There's a butterfly park in Peking, and right now, as you and I talk, them butterflies is flapping their wings in that butterfly park, determine what your weather pattern going to be like 9 months later in New York City. The reason we won the civil rights movement, took on the mightiest, evilest, ungodly, unspiritual nation in the history of the planet and won. Why? We the turtle. What you have to do to be a turtle? Hard on the outside, soft on the inside, and willing to stick your neck out. That's all. Thank you, my brother.
I appreciate that closing, Dick Gregory. And we're going to see y'all next time. Peace.
Thank you. Peace to you.